Okay, welcome to English 112. This is our short session starting this upcoming Monday on March 16th. For our course, the most important thing to keep in mind is that it is a short session course. So rather than a 16-week course, we're going to condense everything into 8 weeks. So because of that, everything is going to be very fast-paced. So just keep that in mind as we're moving forward because we are going to move very quickly. So it does require that you're very proactive, that you're checking your emails daily, that you're checking Blackboard daily, that you're staying on top of things. So really quickly, we're just going to go through the syllabus. Some of the stuff I'm going to let you guys read on your own. You do know that there's a syllabus quiz for this week. It's the EVA assignment. It does have to be completed in order for you to continue in our class. So in order to maintain your enrollment in our course, you do have to complete that assignment. So make sure that you're getting that done this week. For the first week, the syllabus quiz is what you'll see, and once you've completed it, it will then open up the discussion board. So you do have to complete the syllabus quiz before you can participate in the discussion board for this first week. So really quickly, my name is Jordan Billington. This is my 5th semester teaching at Central Piedmont. I'm also teaching at UNC Charlotte as well. So because of our online nature of our course, the quickest way to get in touch with me is via email. So I've provided my email address here at the top. So you'll see jordan.billington@cpcc.edu. It's fairly simple to remember. My office hours are by appointment only, so if we do need to meet, I'm happy to do so, but we need to coordinate that via email. I'm available to meet with you online via email or real-time chat functions like WebEx, Google Hangouts, Skype, things such as this. We can also have a phone meeting if that works best. If a face-to-face meeting is what works best for you, well, then we'll be able to set that up through our division office. So our course itself is the second in a series of 2. You've completed English 111 previously. So this course is built on to follow up with that course. So in our course, we're going to be looking specifically at research writing and argument style. So more than likely you finished English 111 by composing a research paper, and you're going to continue that type of writing into our course. So we're going to be looking specifically at research, but also from the perspective of argumentation. So I'm going to let you read through the description of our course, the course objectives on your own time, and the course competencies. I'll let you go through that as well. We're just going to hit the highlights in this video. The textbook, it is the practical argument. It's I believe it's the 2nd edition, but it was published in 2011. And I've also, if you've got a previous edition of the textbook, because it wasn't that long ago that we were using the previous edition, please just let me know ahead of time. More than likely that'll be fine. We'll just need to make sure that the page numbers will be different, so we'll just need to make sure that everything that you're going to be reading in our course is still in that previous handbook. So for our course, you need to make sure that you've got access to Microsoft Word. Of course, you need to have internet access, and then Blackboard, which is where we'll have everything that we need for our course. So my expectations are that you do attend these online classes. I know that we are an asynchronous course, meaning that at no point will I require you all to be online at the same time. I know that you guys all have busy schedules. I know that I certainly do. I work primarily, I'm at UNC Charlotte during the day. So the majority of the time that we're interacting with each other is going to take place in the evening. I do respond to emails pretty quickly. So if you email me, you'll get a response from me within 24 hours. And that is business days. So over the weekend, you'll probably still hear from me, but it may not be within 24 hours. So if you email me Friday night, don't expect an email Saturday morning. But I am pretty quick about the emails. But I do expect you to participate in the classes. So I expect you to participate in discussion responses to each other. I expect you to be a proactive student and to be engaged with the material. I also expect that you already have access to Microsoft Word and PowerPoint, and that you are at the very least familiar with these document style or these software so that you can compose for our course and participate. One of the most important things, again, is to be proactive. If you have questions at any point, I know with an online assignment, sometimes it feels like you're on an island, and I don't want that for you. So if during the course of our semester you have a question about an assignment or something isn't clear, please feel free to reach out to me. That's what I really want you to do. I want you to know that it's a very open environment. If you have concerns or questions, please feel free to contact me at any point, and I'll be happy to work with you. I know that some of you may come into our course with very different skills. English 111 may have been taught differently depending on who you have the course with. And so we may have different skill levels at this point. So I know it's somewhat challenging coming into an online course. So I want you to know that if you have questions moving forward, please feel free at any point to reach out to me. One of the most important things to keep in mind too is to be respectful of each other's writing. So in discussion boards, be respectful of each other, and of course be respectful to me as your instructor. I'm going to respect you, so I expect the same respect from you as well, and between you and your classmates. Number 8 here, you see I've got some highlighted part because this is incredibly important. You need to be able to turn in all work on time, and assignments need to be completed thoughtfully and to the best of your ability. I will not accept late assignments, and I feel this way because we're in a short session. Everything's moving very quickly. It's hard for me to keep up with everything that's going on if I've got students submitting work past the deadlines. So it's important that you are keeping up with your deadlines, that you're submitting work on time. Now, that said, I know that things happen. I understand. I have a work and family, and I understand that sometimes things happen that are beyond your control. But in situations like that, if you know that something's going on and it's going to hinder your ability to get something completed on time, just have a conversation with me ahead of time. As long as you communicate with me in advance, then we can work something out. But if it's after the fact, if an assignment's due Sunday night, you've had 2 weeks, you've been looking at this assignment for 2 weeks, and you submit it, and 2 days later I get an email from you, at that point I won't be able to accept it. So make sure that you're keeping up with the assignments and the deadlines, and keeping me in the loop if anything should happen. You want to make sure that you're checking your email daily and Blackboard every day. I know that might seem a bit excessive, but because we are a short session and we are moving very quickly, it's really important that you are staying on top of things. So my expectation for communication, this is another important area. I am going to expect respectful communication at all times. When you respond to each other in discussion boards, I expect you to be respectful. But when you're participating in an email correspondence with me, all of that should also be respectful. So it needs to be formal, clear, and without texting language. So no LOLs, no letter U for you, things like that. Punctuation is important. I would expect, that your emails are formal and demonstrate the same type of academic writing that is required in our course. So, and every email that you send me, I am teaching mini classes this semester. So just to make life easier for me, if you wouldn't mind, when in your emails, make sure that you identify first and last name, but then also the section. So this is just to give you an example, Jane Doe, English 112-84. So you list English 112, and you'll tell me the particular section that we are in. Now, and I understand that there are going to be some times that you're frustrated. So you may be frustrated with a grade or an assignment, and that happens, and I understand. However, at no time are you going to be able to resort to disrespectful communication with me. So I know that sounds crazy because it hurts the emails, but typing in capital letters, using profanity, threats, name calling, anything else that's considered disrespectful will not be tolerated. So if you write me an email that I deem disrespectful, then I have the right to give you a failing grade for our course. So just keep that in mind. Yes, things happen. Yes, people can get frustrated, especially in academic spaces. So I want you to know that at any point you can reach out to me. Just be respectful when you do. And then the other thing with communication is, of course, your CBCC email is the only way that we can communicate. And that's just because if you're emailing me from a personal account, I have no way of knowing or verifying your identity. So make sure that you're emailing me from your CBCC email address. And then there's some links down here that talk about, some ways that if you're unfamiliar with online courses and Blackboard, there are definitely some training opportunities available. So we're going to skip down through here. My grading scale is a 10-point scale, very similar to probably all the classes that you're taking at the college level. This is a breakdown of what our grading is going to look like in our course. There are 3 major written assignments. The first one is our question paper. It's worth 15% of your grade. The next one is the debunking stereotypes paper, 20% of your grade. And the last one is our argument paper for 25%. So those total are 60%. We are a writing intensive course, so you're going to be doing a lot of writing for me this semester. And you'll notice these assignments get progressively, they get worth, increasingly, they become more important to your grade. And that's because the assignments themselves do increasingly become more challenging. So as we're progressing through the semester, my goal is that your writing continues to improve. And then the next part of our grading scale this semester is the classroom activity assignments. I'm going to give you guys 3 assignments over the course of our semester, and they will be worth 25%. It'll be a citation assignment, a reading assignment, a thesis assignment. These are not going to be labor-intensive assignments. They are going to be used as a way to help you guys continue to practice. So in the citation assignment, you're going to be practicing creating citations, as identifying what is the proper citation, what's an incorrect citation, things like that. And we're all going to cite in MLA this semester. Hopefully you left English 111 very familiar with MLA because that is key for our course. But MLA is what we'll be doing this semester. And then lastly, 15% of your final grade is based on participation. So for a course like ours, participation comes into, it looks like discussion boards, responding to each other, any quizzes throughout the semester. We will occasionally have reading quizzes. You have your syllabus quiz in the first week. All of the quizzes in the discussion boards, and we do have a discussion rubric that's posted in our course under course information. And we'll talk about those when we get into the discussion board. For my discussion boards, what you're going to do each time you post them is you're going to post, and then the week after is when you respond to each other. And I do it this way because I don't want you to rush and just choose the first 3 that you see. I want you guys to actually take your time and create thoughtful responses. So each time that there's a discussion board, you'll post a discussion, and then the week after is typically when you'll be doing responding. And if there is a change to that, you'll see it posted in the discussion board instructions. So if we scroll down here a little bit more, it talks about, we talk about discussion boards and activities. Just a note about discussion boards, there is a rubric posted in our course information tab in Blackboard. But as a general rule, I'm going to be grading you guys on thoughtfulness and the thorough nature of your discussion post and responses. So I'm looking for, at the minimum, 250 words for each discussion post that you write, and that is the bare minimum. So if you want to hire, if you wanted to impress me, if you want to do better in discussion boards, you'll more than likely be writing upwards of 300 and more words, but 250 is that bare minimum for a discussion post. Your responses should be very thoughtful and respectful, and I'm going to be evaluating those discussions and responses based on the effort that you're putting forth. Participation is key, as you guys know, so you're going to want to make sure that you are participating in our course, and you can read a little bit more about that. CBCC does require attendance, so that is something that I'm going to be checking weekly. And the way that you're counted as attending for our course is if you are actually participating. If you're in Blackboard and you're submitting work, that's how you get counted present for that particular week's course. So you want to make sure that you are logging into Blackboard daily, that you're checking to make sure that you're completing all the things that are due for that week. There is a census date, and that census date is the 10% date. So if you haven't submitted any assignments, if you haven't submitted the EVA assignment especially by that 10% date, at that point you are not allowed to continue in our course. So that census date comes up pretty quickly since we're in a short session. March 23rd is that day, so make sure by that date you have submitted your syllabus quiz. But it's something that I want you to complete in this first week, so make sure that you're doing that in order to stay enrolled in our course. You can read through this a little bit more. It talks about MLA citations and the library sources that are available. Course withdrawal, if you do opt to withdraw from our course, the last day of withdrawal is April 6th, so just keep that in mind as you're moving forward. So that comes up pretty quickly, just something to be thinking about, and this will walk you through the withdrawal steps if you're unfamiliar. And then down here we'll talk about plagiarism. Plagiarism is really important if it's a very serious academic violation. We want to make sure that you're using your original thoughts and ideas, so make sure that you are properly citing sources so that plagiarism does not become an issue. Self-plagiarism is it's a misconception, but if you do self-plagiarize, meaning you submit something that you submitted in English 111, Blackboard will catch it as self-plagiarism, so make sure that you're not doing that. And this talks a little bit about tutoring and academic assistance. As a final note, as the instructor of our course, I do reserve the right to make any changes to our course syllabus, but I will do so with advance notice, so you will always know when things are changing if they change at all. So that's really our course in a nutshell. This is a really quick video, really quick breakdown. So read through the syllabus in your own time, make sure that you are familiar with all the different details in this document, complete that syllabus quiz for this first week, and complete the discussion board. If you have any questions moving forward, please know that you can at any point reach out to me. I am available and happy to talk to you. Okay, so Best of luck, and we will talk soon.